Now, when you visit citinewsroom.com, there's a story there, election 2024, Adwoa Safo to contest Dome Kwabenya seat again. Now, the story reads, the NPP Member of Parliament for Dome Kwabenya, Sarah Adwoa Safo, has announced her intentions to contest again in the 2024 election. Adwoa Safo, who first entered Parliament in 2012, publicly apologized to the President, the Vice President, and the leadership of the NPP over the past week for what she says were actions that affected the party. She was away for almost a year, leaving a vacuum in Parliament at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, where she served as Minister. Speaking to journalists after touring her constituency, Sarah Adwoa Safo said she had already informed the party of her intentions to run again. Quote, "Politics is a game of numbers. If it is the will of God and the people want me, I will run again," Adwoa Safo said. The New Patriotic Party expressed its approval of the public apology made by the MP. The Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, stated that the apology is viewed positively and contributes to the party's image. Quote, "She has done something positive and the party welcomes her apology," unquote, Haruna Mohammed said. However, some NPP executives in the Dome Kwabenya constituency say they have taken the apology by Member of Parliament Adwoa Safo with a pinch of salt. The NPP Constituency Secretary for Dome Kwabenya, Theophilus Labi, described her apology as habitual, adding that her re-election as parliamentary candidate for the next general elections could adversely affect the party's chances in the constituency. So this is it. With everything that has happened, the MP and former Minister of Gender and Social Protection says that she's still thinking, or she has decided that she will contest again, because elections, you know, is just about numbers. Jeffrey, I don't know what you think of this. For 1 year, she was out, and now she's back with a sorry, and that I'm coming back.
Well, I must first of all state that I live in Dome Kwabenya Estate, so she's
really?
the MP for my constituency.
Okay.
Actually, so I must be very objective with you. I think she has a right to contest. That's the beauty of democracy. Once you've poured it out there, once you said you want to contest and you qualify, you can contest. I mean, but she has a record to be assessed. She's been MP for about 2 terms or something, and then she was given the opportunity to also serve the Ghanaian people when she was actually made a Minister of State. Actually, so I think as a gender minister, she had a wonderful opportunity to serve that group that I love so much, women and children. And I think social protection, which is very, very key. You know, so if you had such an opportunity, it was a very big opportunity to shoot right into the hearts of the Ghanaian people. But well, these are my views, my honest views. It's sad as a feminist that I have actually been always crying for women participation, to have such a wonderful woman, a lawyer for that matter, to enter that stronghold. You were thinking that, you know, a lawyer to enter a law-making house, you know, you think that, you know, she should excel. And she's very vocal. So I thought, yeah, you know, she started well.
She was part of Parliament leadership.
Unfortunately, I mean, there's a potential that went waste. I mean, I'm being careful with my words, but as a feminist, I must be honest to that. Whilst we are fighting to get more women there, we want to get women who get there to inspire the rest to also come up there, or also just get some of them to come around. And sardonically, while monitoring the social media space, most of the young ladies and women who actually supported her call were actually at her over the weekend when she even apologized. But I thought, look, apologizing is one thing, but there needs to be other things. I would advise her to move on and sit at a bench space. All I'm saying is that you have to run out if you really regret it. You need to run out, you know. You can step aside. The Constitution would allow you to come back again. I mean, if you watch the complaints around her, people thought she didn't do anything in the constituency, and I thought same too, and I'm still thinking she could have done better. And like you rightly said, leaving the political scene for God knows whatever, and then making very negative publicity for herself was a shot at her own foot that she could just step aside. I think the public records are there for everybody to assess. Aside what I'm saying now, like you rightly said, to stay away for a year, I think it was pathetic for a woman that I don't look at it from the political angle when it comes to women. I look at it from that gender. I'm biased with it because I thought over time I have sat on a platform with very, very long time ago with Dr. Ofe Aboagye. She was then the head of the Local Government Institute. at TV3, we were having a discussion. I was young then. Even with my young blood and hot blood, I said, look, I don't believe in just affirmative action, selecting women to be there. I thought, look, they should work for it. So for such an action, I think if Doc was on a platform with me today, she would have seen what I was talking about. If you gave women opportunity, a few of them also let you down, and this is what has happened. I think she should just take a seat. Women have made me who I am. I have 3 big sisters, I don't have a brother. So I love women. They really make it happen for me. But if one fails and you think this is a failure, politically we can match it, her records to say that, look, this is gross, failure. She could have done better. Given the opportunity, she could have done better. Right. And it doesn't take anything, it won't take all away from her. She should just go back there and then maybe resurface again. Right. I'm sure if the people really like her, when she comes back again,
absolutely. And Mensa, before you go on, you know, if we look at her record, okay, in her constituency in Parliament, I don't think that prior to she taking that leave of absence, you know, we could say that Adwoa Safo was one of the people who we didn't see what she was doing, who didn't care. I mean, we saw a very active woman, you know, doing so much for her constituency and for her party, for the people of Ghana. And then in her apology, she stated that it wasn't deliberate, you know, she had serious issues. And I think that sometimes these kind of problems will not be things that you can openly say in public, and so she would want to, you know, keep that away from the public. But she says that she is okay now. Now I am back. I want to continue from where I left off. Should we not give her the benefit of the doubt?
Of course. I am a bit sympathetic to her because she's done something we hardly see politicians do in this country.
Yeah.
Politicians in this country don't apologize even if they are wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that what she did was very, very bold to come out and say, look, I acknowledge that my conduct at the time did not serve my constituents well. And for that matter, I apologize for it. I think we need to give her the benefit of the doubt. Again, if you look at the circumstance and the explanation she herself, I've seen her give, even in the media space, that there were real life-threatening issues, family, personal problems. It makes me very sympathetic to her because people go through a lot, and in this country, we don't take mental health serious. We don't take a lot of these things serious, and if even somebody at that level can go through that. And clearly you could see that she was going through a lot, you know, then I think that we must understand that it can happen to anybody. And so we must be a bit sympathetic to her. But I know her party won't be. Her political party won't be sympathetic to her.
We won't entertain any acts of misbehavior this morning from you.
Her political party won't really entertain that because, you know, Adwoa Safo's problem began in Parliament on the 7th of December 2021. Was it? No, 7th of January 2021. When the elections for the Speaker of Parliament took place. And there were all manner of suspicions and claims that Adwoa Safo was the one who betrayed her party in Parliament and voted for the other side. And I don't think the party has forgiven her. Whether the claims are true or not, some people held on to that belief. Again, if you look at the constituency she's contesting, one of the people, her key contenders, who have always contested her is Mike Okoye Jr., who is the son of the former Speaker of Parliament, who they are accusing Adwoa Safo of voting against. So you see that power dynamics there. Professor Mike Okoye was put up to be voted as Speaker, and they said Adwoa Safo allegedly voted against him. His son is the one who's always been contesting Adwoa Safo. The last time, it was very, very keen and close contest. we don't know what is going to happen this time or whether he's going to contest again. But clearly, if you look at this power dynamics, it will tell you that this their primaries is going to be very key. A lot of power play is going to go in. I won't be surprised if Adwoa Safo is ousted. I won't be surprised. It won't come as a surprise at all, you know. But the power dynamics are going to play out, and eventually we'll see how it turns out. I want her, if she's going to be ousted, on her credentials, on how she served the constituency, for how many years she's been member of parliament, her role in parliament as deputy majority leader, and how she's contributed to for the party until that issue happened, that she took that long break.
But you even remember that during that period, we had some of her constituents also come out to defend her.
Yes.
You know, that she's going through stuff and they know what she's done for the constituency and all that. We can look at it from the party's, you know, perspective, but elections is about numbers.
Yes.
If they decide to change Adwoa Safo, looking at how strong she is in the constituency, would they be able to get someone, you know, who can match up to her work in the constituency, who can match up to her likable nature in that constituency? And let's not forget how Parliament sees today, that every one win matters.
No, they can't. You see, the situation in Dome Kwabenya is very, very dire for the NPP.
That's a constituency.
Yes. If they oust Adwoa Safo, whoever will come in will need the support of Adwoa Safo to win. Mind you, her father's church is in that place. About 40 to 50% of the constituents in that area are members of the father's church. And so there's that personal allegiance to the family. Again, we don't know the caliber of candidature or candidate they will present. But I don't think there's anybody in the NPP today in Dome Kwabenya who is more popular than Adwoa Safo in that constituency. So they may succeed in ousting her in the primaries, but with how Adwoa Safo has started, with a public apology and with how she's preparing to go into the contest, if she's unfairly ousted, I think she'll go independent. I suspect she might go as an independent candidate, and that is going to, you know, ultimately affect the chances of the NPP retaining the seat.
Now, quickly, Jeffrey, let me find out from you. You are a constituent, okay? She has come out to apologize. I had issues and all that. Now I'm okay. I am back. She has about a year, okay, to right every wrong. I mean, to change things around, perception about what happened, and to make people forget, if that is possible. Okay, this is to the constituent. Would you think that this can change something? If she really comes back strong with the months that she has left to 2024 elections, can something change?
You know, let me liken it to a marriage situation, because we're in love with the work of an MP, not the political side of it, but the work of the MP and how we can foster together within the period. And look, there's a time for separation sometimes. You know, no matter when the tensions arise, because that's why I'm calling for her to separate from the people a while. Like he's rightly saying, she has the crowds still, you know, some sizable people who can still be for her. But it's important, as you've apologized, you can apologize to the woman. Maybe you've erred against your wife. You can apologize to her for cheating. You can actually move away.
Is that not a dangerous thing to do?
So the separation is when the pain is there. Because the pain is still rife. You give the people some time to heal.
Is that not when you have to prove yourself?
No. If you push it too much, you might even crash everything. Because people need space to heal. You know, so you give them some time. And like I said, constitutionally, she can just go and come back again. You know, and one thing that happens is that, like if you step down, okay, on the cause of your apology, then you have the opportunity that the people think you're still right around.
So what's a crime, really?
Okay, so for the people, they saw you take up certain positions, and like you're saying, you had challenges. That is one thing about communication. If you communicate to people, they know your challenge, they can understand you, and they might give you the chance, the benefit of the doubt that, look, you loved us, you understood us, you were there for us, but X and Y made you go
Jeffrey,
away.
if I am not in the position to explain, do you understand? So sometimes, for want of a better example, you get yourself involved in an accident. Okay, you are traveling to northern part of Ghana. You are in an accident. You know, at that time, there's somebody will say that, but you should have called your family. You should have done it. But were you in a position to explain? Could you even talk? Were you able to do that? The time that she probably feels that this is the time that I can explain, because whatever it was I was going through, I didn't have the opportunity, or I wasn't in the right frame of mind to even come and communicate. This is what I feel I can face the public. I can now come and talk to you. I can explain whatever it was and render an apology. I mean, Mensah said, other politicians, nothing will be heard, nothing will be said. We just carry on. But I have come back to you that, look, it wasn't a deliberate move to just abandon my work and abandon my people. I was really in some crisis, family and personal issues. That is why I was not available. Now I am fine. Forgive me for everything that has gone wrong, and let's still move on. Is that not enough? What else should she have done?
I'm one person who admire people when they are bold to come out and say, I'm sorry for what they've done. But I also tell people that while accepting the apology, persons must be ready to also stand what actually comes for their actions that for which they are apologizing for. But I mean, I've always said that if you need to correct people, you don't need to destroy them, you need to reform them. Through complaints, I'm sure the people came out to say why. As she stated that after the apology, she stated her interest to contest again. You've heard that people have accepted the apology. A lot of people are still not happy with the actions she took. So maybe she needs to do a lot more explanation. Personally, I live in the constituency, and I thought most of the projects that I saw started, halted, and then, you know, there were no good explanations. If she has good explanations, she should speak with the people. But technically, like I'm saying, I've seen people go and come back. And when they came back, the people resonated with them because of what they've done.
So with that Adwoa Safo, can someone win the seat for NPP in Dome Kwabenya?
Well, politics is such that you look at people as, look, people left the scene and others took over. In politics, it's how you sell yourself. But like Mensah said, over time you connect with the people and you have what we call the social capital. If she thinks she still has that social political capital enough to go again, I mean, who am I, son of a poor bank who said I had to stop her? I would only encourage.
Who is the NDC candidate who has been? Is it Sophia Kwak? Is it Sophia? Okay.
There's Alec Plim who actually contests for the NDC, and she has been building votes over time. And when in the 2020 election, I think she made strides over the other candidate. So it's going to be, and I loved it in 2020 when I saw two women, because I knew I was going to win at all costs. I was going to get my feet to come out. So again, if there's a woman to face the NDC candidate again, and I see two women again, I win. I mean, for me, I like to see.
But with the works, you know, I'm talking more to you because you are a constituent, you know. So with the work that you say started, but halted along the line and all that, if these works, you know, begin to pick up, if they are able to be completed under Adwoa Safo and all that, do you think that
I've always told
she will get some sympathy votes here?
I follow records. And so let's go back to what happens in Asin North. We saw roads that, you know, germinated within
but there's somebody whose track record is known. And you say that before she had issues, she started some good works in the constituency. And something happened. Now, she says she's back, she's okay. If she starts from where she left off and complete some of these projects, would you still liken it to Asin North?
Lobby for some of the projects to come off. I mean,
but that is what she was doing prior. No, I get it. But she started, some jobs started. So it will still be whatever she did, you know, that she has to continue.
But if the same party that was assisting her, that she was able to lobby people to do things for the constituency, if they have appealed against her, then that means maybe she's lost that favor. And it might not do well for our constituency.
But
anyway,
but you see,
the
dynamics is such that we need to go in and measure, surely, the people who are dissatisfied with Adwoa Safo's behavior. Is it the constituents or the party delegates?
As it stands now, party executives,
If it is the party executives, because as for constituents, some of them, they vote elections, within 4 years, they will never see their member of parliament anyway. So it's really not a big deal. But if the people who are making the noise are the delegates, or the people who matter in the constituency in terms of the NPP political party, and they make a mistake and they oust and they bring somebody, will be difficult to sell that person because by the time you oust Adwoa Safo, now you've entrenched her sympathies with the mass population, and then it's going to be go against the party.
The party says they are okay. They've accepted the apology. The NPP executives in Dome Kwabenya say, well, we're taking this with a pinch of salt.
Yes, but they are the people who matter.
Yeah.
They are the people
But you know, the previous elections, it was even on the radio when the analysis, that was one of the primaries that was really heated.
Yeah.
And she won with, I think, 7 votes or something.
Against Michael.
Okay.
But it was less than 10. It was less than 10 votes, actually.
Yes,
and the dynamics early on was that she was actually going to lose. Yes. And it took some magics for her to win.
So maybe that magic will be on.
Because she had the same executives at her. So I'm just advising.
So you see that. So you see the thing. In 2020, that's what they said.
Exactly.
But when she won the primary, she went on to win the main election.
Yes.
True. So if it means that the population still likes her, irrespective. And so I think the party will want to take that into consideration. What is the impact of the ousting of Adwoa Safo on the candidates they are going to field?
Right.
Because you need the traditional votes of Adwoa Safo plus the new ones your candidate is probably going to add on to win the elections. But if you ask her and she takes away those votes, assuming she goes independent, what happens then to the party?